today we're going to do our last portrait. So mainly just grading it on if you follow along and follow directions. All right, so we're going to start right in the middle of my page. I'm going to measure about how big I want my eye, and then I'm going to put 2 dots under my fingers. Okay, and just to give you an idea, that's fits about 2 of my fingers in there. I'm going to measure it, move it over. Now I'm going to put a dot where my thumb is. Measure it, move it over, and put a dot where my pointer finger is. That way everything is spaced out. I have room for my imaginary eye and room for my real eyes. So I'm going to do my eyes. I'll start with the top arch. Do both of those. The bottom's usually a little more flat. I'm not going to close it all the way. Okay, and my eyebrow cavities should be looking at each other. So I have the little dips there and there. All right, I'm at the iris where I don't see the top. And on this one, I don't see the bottom. This eye's a little bit bigger, so you do see a little bit more of that one. I'll go ahead and add the crease over the eye. And if I'm going too fast, feel free to just pause anytime you need to. I'm at the highlight, which is the glare. So this is not my pupil. It's the glare from the light hitting the eye. And then behind that, I'm going to add the pupil. So that's our black dot. So I'm going to color that in dark. And then for my iris, I'm going to color it in like the rays of a sun. So I have lines that go all the way around, staying away from my highlight, and around each eye. Same thing over here. And I'm going to darken these outside. Cleans it up, and most eyes have like a darker border around the edges. All right, I'm going to lightly shade in my eyebrow cavity. I left the middle a little bit lighter because sometimes they're kind of shiny. All right, and then I'm going to do the nose. So we measure eye into the middle. So measure, move, and I'm going to put a little creepy little smiley face right there. So my nose has to fit between the eyebrow cavities at the bottom. So if you want to do that circle method we talked about, you could do that, and that would be the bottom of your circle. Otherwise, if you're doing the bowl, you branch out to candy cane shapes. And then the parentheses, which are not touching anything. They're just kind of floating there. And then I'm going to extend one side. I'm coloring this line kind of up, straighten. And then it goes up and over the eye. Take your finger and blend that. I'll darken the nostrils. And then you can leave it like that, or if you wanted to add a little more shadow, just kind of around the edges, you could do that as well, but you don't have to do that step. All right, and then, oh, I forgot the eyelashes. So I'm gonna go back to that. So you can keep them real short with like little tiny lines, okay? Or you can make them a little longer, space them out, and really don't have any little gap between the iris and the eyebrow cavity. Okay, don't go crazy with them. All right, and then I'm going to go down for where the lips are. So I'm going to measure the eye top to bottom, place that under the nose, and then I'm going to put a little V shape there for the peak of the mouth. Okay, so it looks like a tiny little smile. All right, and then that's just going to be kind of a guide that says where my lips need to end up. But I'm going to start with that middle line. If you're in the circle method, that would be the start of your little circles, and then you'll do the big circle and then draw the lips in. But the outside of the lips are going to line up kind of about the middle of the irises. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to do this slightly downward line and ending up about there. And then there's my top lip. I can do that part. And the bottom is usually just a soft curve. If you want to add a little bit of shading, just kind of the edges and the part where the lips meet are going to be the darker parts. And I'm just going to blend that really quick. All right, and then we need the chin. So I'm going to measure the eye this way, turn it, place it under the chin, and put a little mark. Am I doing that right? All right, and then for the bottom of the chin, it's going to be kind of flat, slightly rounded up, but kind of flat, about the length of the mouth. Okay, and then I'm going to angle it up until I'm even with the mouth. I'm going to do it on both sides. So angle it up until I'm even with the mouth. And then I'm going to straighten it out. I'm going to stop just past the eye. So I'm not going all the way up to the forehead yet. Okay, and then I'm going to do the eyebrows. So make sure they're longer than the eye. I've had a lot of people keep them really, really tiny. You want to make them a little bit longer than the eye. And these could have a peak like this one. They could be curved, or they can be a little more flat. And kind of like a little tail on the back. And then I like to fill mine in with lines so that it looks like little hairs. And let's do the ears real quick. So they're going to fit in kind of about where the eye is and the nose. And I'm just going to do a little curve. Same thing over here. Oh, made that look kind of big. Little curve. If you want to, you can leave them like this, but if you want to add a little detail, you could add like a little candy cane shape and a C. Little candy cane shape and a C. Again, feel free to pause this whenever you need to, because I know I'm going really, really fast. All right, so now we need to make sure a person has a forehead. This is my biggest pet peeves when people don't have foreheads. So I'm going to measure from the bottom of the nose to the middle of the eye. Some people today are measuring from up to the eyebrow. I'm going to measure from right there to the bottom of the nose. Measure, move above the eyebrow, and put a little mark. Okay, and there's lots of options for the hair. You don't have to copy mine exactly. But what I like to do is start, kind of do the outlines of the hair first. So what does it look like in front of your forehead? This feels a little short. Okay, so if your hair like kind of hangs down, if it comes in front of your face, and then if it's parted, whether you have short hair and you part it to the side, or maybe you have really long hair and it's parted in the middle or to the side, or if you have pigtails in your hair, or side part pony, I like to do little lines there. And then the top, and go around the edge, and then whatever is happening here. And then I'll add in a few long lines. And they're kind of soft, just kind of natural looking. If you have shorter hair, okay, you would kind of, again, follow the hairline, whatever it's doing here. Or even if you had your hair up like in a pony, it would kind of start the same way, outline the top of the head, and then whatever you can see of your bun or pony. All right, so if his hair, it's kind of an odd hairstyle, but say it's longer on top, and maybe a little bit shorter on the sides. Okay, something like that. That's kind of it's a little bit different. But just follow what your hair looks like. Your person does not have to look like this. Did several options in the other class, but just some more just for reference. So if this is your face, ears, you have shorter hair like this. And if you have curlier hair, you do little bumpity bumps. And maybe straighter on the sides. If your hair hangs in front of your face, okay, something like this. Okay, so just kind of focus on however your hair looks or however you want to make it. I'm not really picky about your hair because we haven't gone over it too much. Mainly concerned about following directions and make sure everything in the face is in the right spot.